Hi everyone, it's Finks here, and today I'm going to show you how to build a efficient and organised storage building slash base store on Valheim. This is what it's going to look like in the end. Obviously it doesn't look like much from the outside, but you're going to be surprised at what's inside and how it looks inside. It looks so much better than anything else I've seen on Reddit, on YouTube, on Twitter, and obviously you might not want to have a separate store, but if you don't want to have this, the things that I do on this to put a store on a curved wall, you can use them in any building. You can put curved walls into your main base and take some of the ideas from this build and put it into your own build. Now, normally I just cut off the video here, I go and speed build whatever I'm going to do, but this video I thought I would actually talk through the steps so that you could easily follow it and basically build this from scratch with pretty much only wood, so you can build this straight from the start. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Let's go. Once you've cleared an area, it doesn't need to be too big. You're going to want to get out your hammer, get some wood beams, and what we're going to do is put one at the back, and then we're just going to rotate it one spot at a time until we have a full circle, something like this. Then you're going to want to choose where your entry point is. I think I'm going to have mine like maybe here or here, maybe here. Pop a door in, not like that though. Pop a door in, something like this. Once you have your door, you're going to be putting the flooring in next. So normally I like to rotate the floors, but because this is a circular building, I feel like it doesn't work so well, so I'm simply just going to maybe put something like this down here, here, and here. And then all we need to do is simply rotate this ever so slightly when we're coming around and fixing up the sides here. And then what we're going to do is start to fix out our cubbies for the storage. So we're going to miss the first one, and then you're going to want to do something that looks like this. So these are coming straight off the back ones. Every second beam is going to look something like this. Next up we have the half beams. We're only going to need one of these because we're actually going to replace this with a full beam at some point down the line once we have our shelves in place. So we have this, which is all good. Take a big beam, we're going to rotate it so that it's kind of pointing outwards and it's not flat with the surface. I just think this looks better. I mean, if you don't want to do it that way, you can do it the other way, that's completely fine. And we're actually going to do this on the edge points as well. So once you've done the step, it's going to look something like this. The next thing we're going to do is grab our half wall. We're going to put in 2 slots here. We only need it on every second one, so this is where our shelves are going to be. And I like to use the half walls because it actually allows the shelves to snap and everything to remain equally spaced. Whereas if you use a full wall and then you try and put a shelf in, you're kind of going to be, each one is going to vary ever so slightly, and I just don't like the idea of that, although you can make it look okay. I just think that this way is kind of easier. Okay, so now we have our shelves. We can put them in something like this. Doesn't matter too much on the rotation of these because we're not going to be able to see them at all once this is finished. So just place them in. This is simply just something for the chests to rest on. And then once this is done, you can add the top ones in as well. Now I don't think we need any more than 3 shelves, although if you want to make yours a little bit bigger, of course you could do that. The next thing I like to do is just come around and remove all these half walls because I don't like the way they look from the outside. So we're actually going to replace all of these with full walls now that the shelves are in place. Also in the inside, what I like to do is take it from the first beam here and just put it up like this. And then from the beam we're coming straight to the door just to give the door a little bit of space. And now that I come to think about it, yeah, that looks about good. Okay, so next thing we need to put the outer walls in, so I'm just going to use a stair here just to get up and about it. And then exact same thing, come around the outside and a half wall just on the top here for above the door. Now we're going to go back to our wooden poles. I like to take these straight to the ceiling, so I'm going to add in 3 here. Once this is done, it's going to look something like this. Now you can actually build this straight from the start. The only thing is I'm going to use sconces at the end rather than torches, of course, but you can build this completely out of wood and then just use torches with resin and wood. So you can pretty much make this straight from the get-go, which is what's so good about it. The next thing I'm going to do is put these wooden poles in. Just on top of the middle ones here. They are a little bit difficult to snap in sometimes, but that's only because of the height and there's so many options for them to snap into. So it's going to look something like this when it's done. The only thing we need to do now is take out these half beams on the bottom, and we're going to replace these with full beams just because I like the way it looks and I'm a perfectionist in that way. So it's not too difficult, but I mean you could just leave them in and put another half beam. I just prefer not to. Okay, so it's going to look something like, once it clicks in, having some issues there for some reason. It does click in, we just have to maybe play around with it ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, so that was harder than it needed to be, but we are now done. We're going to replace the floor back in. I think these ones might go in a little bit easier. Yeah, there we go. Seems to just be these diagonal ones, but it's okay. We can have a play around with them when we need to. And oh god, this is... So just be very careful when you're placing these, because as you can see, they do tend to jump around a little bit, but they do snap in eventually. You just have to be patient with them. And now you can see this is really starting to take shape. So the next thing I like to do is get these half walls, start to close off the top, and this is going to be where we're putting our signpost later in the line, or our sconces I should say. Now with the roof you're kind of free just to do whatever you want. I like to do the steeper roof and then the more shallow roof, but honestly it doesn't really matter. You could just do whatever you want and that would be completely fine. And that should easily just click in all the way around. Just remember, same as we did with the foundation, you're just rotating one time each time you make a movement around the perimeter. And then I like to use the more shallow one for this upper section. Like I say, it doesn't actually matter, so you know, if you want to do it any other way, then do feel free. This is just my personal preference. Once it's done, it's going to look something like this. We're going to fill up this top area here with walls. Next thing I'm going to do is just get these sconces here. But like I say, you can just use a standing wood torch and put a couple of these in the middle or something like this. It really doesn't matter, I just like it to be a little bit brighter in here. So we have this, which looks all good. Are we? I know, that's fine. And the next thing we're going to need to do is just fill up these gaps at the top here. So it's going to look something like this. Not like that. Once you're done, okay. So this is really starting to take shape now. The only thing I like to do now is I'm going to add some signs in just at the top of this beam just here. And like I said, I'm going to use sconces, so I'm actually going to be removing these torches just now because I think it looks better with sconces. The lights are kind of up and out of the way. I like to just zoom in and just try and get the sconce to sit just above the sign here, something like that. Or actually we could probably put it in the middle of the upper one, but just to try and make them all the same. I think it's harder to place them in the middle of a big tile. At least with these, we kind of place it just above the sign in the middle line of the panel, and we're kind of guaranteed that they're going to be in the same spot every single time. Okay, so we're pretty much done now. We need to add on the finishing touches and of course add in the actual storage. Now we seem to be missing a beam on the bottom here somehow. I'm going to go ahead and add this in. Somehow it seems to work less if you're closer to it, so maybe just if you're having issues, move further back a little bit. And then what we're going to do, head over to furniture, get the standard chest, and we're going to just make sure it's not creeping through the bottom of the beam. You see here it kind of starts to creep through, so what I like to do is just centralize it, make sure it's not coming out the bottom, and we just place it in like that. Now for the ones on the top, what I like to do is just place some stairs down, and then I like to zoom in when I'm building things, get a better view of it. Push it in something like this, and what I've just realised when I'm doing this is that I might actually want to add in a upper beam here, which I think I actually do on my other builds, but I think I've maybe just forgotten it. Okay, so once you're done, it's going to look something like this. Now all we need to do is rename our signs. I like to go with something like wood, maybe stone. So now you're pretty much done. The only thing you could add is a fire in this middle slot. I prefer not to, but we do have a space up there in case you want to put fire in. I'm going to just go up here and play around with the open space we have on the top and make a little chimney. Now what I like to do for this to make sure it's in the middle, we come to the front panel because it just clicks in really nicely, put in some of the 2-meter beams, and then we're going to go back, and this is going to give us a good location, a good even spread location for putting our chimney in. So from here I like to just simply make a square with the big beams, and then tie off all these corners with the smaller 1-meter vertical beams. And then I like to use probably like this hatch here, or this hatch maybe, this one kind of looks okay. Could do that, and then place like one of these crosses on the top. Of course this isn't actually required, it's just something I find to be quite appealing. I think I did the other one slightly different on the other side. That's another store I have. I'm just building up this area right here. Okay, so this is the final product. It's really small storage, but it actually packs a huge punch for storage on the inside. If you go ahead and open this door, you come in, you can see it's all very well organised, looks really nice, really sleek, everything's properly labelled. I don't have anything in these chests right now because everything I have is in my other store. But if you like these videos and you like these kind of videos, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.